Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, a new Battlefield update dropped. I made a video about it a couple days ago going over the patch notes. And, well, the TLDR is it didn't really do a whole lot. It wasn't meant to be a gigantic game-changing patch or anything. There were just a couple bug fixes here and there. But, yeah, not really a big update. But you know what the highlight of today was? The fact that somebody remade Operation Metro in Portal, and Battlefield actually featured it on their Twitter and gave out the experience code. Right now on the main menu, you can just look for it. It's in an official playlist. You can just queue for it. And I played a lot of it today. And you know what? This was a really eye-opening experience, not just because Operation Metro is now playable in the game, or at least a version of it, but for the entirety of Battlefield 6 as well. So let's get right into it. If you enjoy the video, be sure to hit the like button, sub button, and swing by the streams. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders and this YouTube channel. So before I get into anything else, I just really want to say up front, whoever designed Operation Metro in Portal and remade it, I think that person's a fucking absolute gangster, okay? That's cool. I'm happy Battlefield really gave it the spotlight, but I'm gonna harp on Battlefield a little bit here because they gave this guy and his map a spotlight, and guess what? You can queue for it in Portal, and it's 30 hertz and doesn't give any XP. It really is a damn shame. I saw a lot of confusion surrounding people not knowing this map would in fact be 30 hertz, because a little bit ago they said they were updating Portal to 60 hertz, but I think a lot of people missed the specifics. They only updated official and verified Portal experiences to 60 hertz. And this Operation Metro map apparently does not qualify for that, but if it doesn't qualify for it, why officially feature it on the main menu of the game and tweet about it globally on the main account? You know? I think the least they could have done for this guy is officially verify his Portal experience so people can play it and enjoy it and earn XP and have a 60 hertz experience, but they didn't go ahead and do that. Now, in terms of the map itself, I have to say, I had a really good time playing on this map, but when you play it, there are a few things that really stand out about it, and this ultimately is a double-edged sword. So, yes, it is a pretty faithful recreation of the Operation Metro you would find in Battlefield 4. It has the side routes, and it does feel like you are playing that map layout to a T. And I've made a lot of videos previously stating that I think Portal is super underdeveloped and underutilized in this regard. I think there's so much potential for people to recreate maps, and it would just be free content for them to use, right? And this is a great example of it. But then you take a closer look and you realize, man, this map looks like fucking Roblox. And the same can be said for any map that will ever be recreated in Portal, because Portal is simply limited. I'm not, insulting the map creator or anything like that. I'm just saying you kind of can't make these maps look aesthetically pleasing with the way Portal currently functions. It is extremely limited, and at the end of the day, they're just reusing assets in order to actually try to recreate an area, rather than being able to port assets in or have an official DICE map designer actually go in and recreate the entire map like they would for new content anyway. So unless DICE actually gets their shit together regarding Portal and makes sure that it is, well, ready to be utilized by the community to its fullest potential, yeah, unfortunately any map that is recreated in Portal is just going to suffer the same fate, being 30 hertz and not officially verified in any way, so you cannot earn XP. During my playtime on Operation Metro today, one thing really stood out to me in particular, and that is the fact that the visibility on this Operation Metro map was absolutely immaculate because basically the graphics look like shit. And I understand the graphics are a main attraction to Battlefield games, and people like to essentially treat the game like a movie and be immersed and all that stuff, but damn, it's nice to play a game again where, the textures look like shit, but guess what? I can see everything that's happening on my screen, and ultimately, that's what I prefer in my experience anyway. I've been saying for a number of years, games really didn't need to look much better than Battlefield 1, and I think a side effect of graphical fidelity in the way that they're pushing it is the better you make these games look, the worse the visibility is going to be, or the harder it is to maintain a decent level of visibility in your game. Obviously, in this map, the reason why the visibility is so good is I don't believe Portal has any sort of lighting tweaks you can make, so the lighting is just super good everywhere, which means you can see everything very clearly. Switching to playing the base game, let's just say yeah, back to squinting, back to wondering if that's a rock or if that's a person. And I know that Operation Metro is a linear layout with a limited amount of routes available, but there's just something about the design of that map, the layout of it, that was really satisfying to play. And then going to play maps such as like Sobek or even Empire State, they just felt so chaotic, even more chaotic than Operation Metro, with 32 people being on the other side of a wall. I've already made an entire video on why I believe Battlefield 6's map designs are failing in certain regards, and it has to do with the amount of verticality and the amount of infantry accessible routes they have on the map. And yeah, it's just immediately noticeable. You play an older map layout like Metro, and then you go play something like Empire State, or even a linear game mode like Breakthrough, and it's still true. Like, for instance, again, Empire State, the amount of rooftops, the amount of accessible buildings, particularly on the right side of the first sector, and the amount of sight lines that are accessible, it's really crazy to compare and contrast. And for the last section of this video, I wanted to pose a question to you guys because I'm curious as to what you will say. If you were given the choice to decide what Battlefield 6 would do with the remaining content of the game, would you rather have more previous Battlefield maps remastered or more new content? Essentially choosing between old and new maps. I know what I want. I don't think there's any excuse for new maps being as poor as some of them have been. I think they should be able to create new maps that might become modern classics in due time, without necessarily heavily relying on maps that were made previously. But I have seen some sentiment from people, even before Battlefield 6 released, that they want remastered maps to essentially, in their mind, guarantee the maps being added to the game are at least decent. I don't know. I think it's an interesting conversation, but I will say, I think some people are putting a little bit too much trust in DICE to pick the correct maps from previous Battlefield games to remaster, as we see with them choosing to remaster Galmud Railway in probably Season 3 or Season 4 in Battlefield 6. That's already been confirmed. So, you know, just because they have a big pool of great maps to choose from, it doesn't mean they're going to pick the right ones. So overall, today was unexpected. I definitely had fun playing the recreation of Operation Metro. Shout out to the map creator for that, and congratulations for having Battlefield feature that. Unfortunately, I think today also showed the limitations of Portal and just how unfortunate those limitations are and how much it is actually holding back the potential of Portal as a whole. So that's going to wrap this video up, guys. Let me know your experience if you played the recreation of Operation Metro, what you thought of it, whether or not you care it looks like a Roblox map or it has poor textures. If you enjoy the content, hit the sub button, sure to hit the like button, swing by the streams. I stream every single day on this YouTube channel and on Twitch. All links are in the description. And if you find yourself struggling with your gameplay, I also do coaching sessions. That link is also in the description. You can take a look at real reviews from real people. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys later.